The hype is building for EA Play, guys, of 2021. For me, I mean, obviously I'm excited to see all the games that are going to get announced and things of that nature, what's getting updated. But the one that's really standing out to me, of course, being a massive horror fan, one of my favorite horror games of all time, Dead Space is apparently going to be getting a revival. And this is absolutely huge, guys. For us horror fans, those of you who played the original Dead Space games, I mean, just an absolutely incredible experience. Lots of lore there, a lot of story, that being, none other than, of course, the comics too, the movie and everything that they've done with Dead Space. I'm so excited. If this is actually reportedly to be true, we very well could be getting an announcement at EA Play 2021. So let's talk about it, guys. This is in an article, guys, that was written by Andy Robinson of VGC. Dead Space 4 is reportedly a full remake inspired by recent Resident Evils. So, Electronic Arts' unannounced Dead Space game is reportedly a full-fledged remake inspired by Capcom's recent Resident Evil games. That's according to a new report on GamesBeat, which corroborates Jamatsu's earlier claims that a new sci-fi horror installment is in development at EA's Motive Studios. So EA Motive, guys, is obviously the group that was behind Star Wars Squadrons, which was met with a lot of excitement. The new report claims that for its Dead Space reboot, Motive is taking notes from Capcom's recent Resident Evil remakes. Like Resident Evil 2 Remake, expect the next Dead Space to use the original game as a strong foundation, but it should also have modern visuals, and it will likely bring in new gameplay mechanics inspired by other entries in the franchise, the publication claims. And speaking of Capcom, it is likely a major reason a new Dead Space is happening. While EA has let its horror franchise wither, the Resident Evil series is larger than ever, and Capcom has provided an easy blueprint for EA to follow. Now, let's talk about this, guys. Dead Space, the Resident Evil franchise, first of all, I love what they're doing with Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 7. I absolutely love the Resident Evil franchise and where they're taking it. That being said, though, I want Dead Space to be its own thing. Dead Space, is awesome. And I don't want them, the third game was certainly a step in the wrong direction. We definitely don't want Dead Space 4, whatever this, this next title to be. We don't want that to be another step in the wrong direction where they're trying to copy what other, where other games are really thriving. I want to see Dead Space really take this idea where, sure, you can have a full-blown story, similar to like, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, but also really kind of keep the roots of Dead Space, that real horror over action, having a horror title with action elements. Don't do action with horror elements like Dead Space 3. Keep this grounded in what is Dead Space, and I'd love to see them expand upon the co-op and the multiplayer modes to kind of what Resident Evil is doing, right? Having like a Dead Space Online would be absolutely awesome. Bring you back to the experience over and over again after playing the terrifying Dead Space 4 campaign. It's claimed that EA has warmed up to the idea of producing another single-player game after the success of Respawn Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. EA said in July 2020 that Jedi Fallen Order game had surpassed 10 million unique players. Last month, it released updated figures, claiming that the game has now been played by over 20 million people across all consoles, platforms, and subscription services. So let's talk about that. Look, Dead Space, I love Dead Space, but it's not Star Wars, right? It's not going to have these crazy numbers most likely. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that play a new Dead Space. I mean, think about this. Obviously, we've talked and tried to echo Dead Space into existence, a new, game, into the fray, but it's still not Star Wars. So if EA is expecting it to have those kind of numbers, that's just unrealistic. But could it be the biggest Dead Space yet? I think there's absolutely an opportunity for that, to say the least. Now, the Dead Space series first released in 2008 and has not seen a new installment since 2013's Dead Space 3. The series developer Visceral Games was closed by EA in 2017. Following the closure of Visceral, many of Dead Space senior developers formed a new PUBG Corporation development studio called Striking Distance in 2019. Speculation around a potential new Dead Space game increased on Thursday after it was noticed that the game's official YouTube channel was recently updated for the first time in nearly a decade. So I definitely think that a Dead Space 4 Dead Space reboot, whatever you want to call it, is coming, guys, and I'm so excited about that. Now, I think EA is very smart here. So there's been a lot of times where people are very, critical of EA and what their tactics and things of that nature that they do. But what I will tell you is this. EA is kind of on top of this, whereas Valve, I'm going to give you a big comparison here, guys. So we know Valve, the creators of CSGO and Left 4 Dead, there's been a lot of people that want there to be a continuation of the Left 4 Dead franchise, and Valve has put it away, saying, no, we're not going to make another Left 4 Dead title, we're not going to make it a trilogy, whatever the case might be. They just put it to the side, and so now you got Turtle Rock Studios that's coming to the fray, that's bringing out Back 4 Blood, a direct competitor, spiritual successor to none other than Left 4 Dead, and now there's a lot of anticipation. So anyone who's been playing Left 4 Dead is probably going to move over and start playing Back 4 Blood, and if it's a real home run and a great title, they're going to stay there, and Valve is going to be way behind if they're planning on making another Left 4 Dead title. Well, obviously, we know that there's a spiritual successor to Dead Space coming out from the creators of Dead Space, that being Glenn Schofield. They're coming out with a title called the Callisto Protocol, and EA smartly knows, hey, this is going to be a spiritual successor, and a lot of the people that play Dead Space are going to try this game out, so we better get on it and make a Dead Space title or a reboot, because there still is an audience here, without a doubt, and so they're on it, and I think that I'm going to give some praise to EA for doing that. They're seeing the writing on the wall. There is a company out there and a development studio that is going to try to take our people or our players away from Dead Space in the form of the Callisto Protocol. Let's get on this and let's make sure that we keep this fan base together and not split it up between the Callisto Protocol and Dead Space. So very smart from a business perspective, I think EA is making here. And maybe they're just learning with time. Who knows? I'm not going to say that they have kind of changed in a major way, but I think that they have certainly started to see that writing on the wall of what could be coming, a storm in the form of the Callisto Protocol, and so making a new Dead Space is a great idea. I just hope it's not riddled with a bunch of microtransactions. I hope it has a multitude of modes. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, I love that title, but the only thing I don't like about it had a lot of bugs and such, but the big thing I didn't like was that it didn't have multiplayer. I think Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order would have been a fantastic multiplayer experience had they kind of made it a full package instead of just a single player story. So I'm hoping Dead Space, it's not just a single player story, because if it is, after you're done beating it a couple of times, you might move on to other games. Whereas if you have multiplayer and co-op, you may stay for a very long period of time until you get another Dead Space title, and that's the hope that I have here with EA. But we'll see what happens, guys. I'll keep you guys posted as more information comes out. EA Play 2021 is right around the corner, so stay tuned for more Dead Space content here. I have a lot of Dead Space content on the YouTube channel already you guys can check out. Let me know what you guys think about Dead Space 4 or the Dead Space reboot in the comment section down below. And for more Dead Space 4 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.